Hi guys, I'm Dana, and today I wanted to teach you how to make your shuffles sound more interesting. For anyone that doesn't know, a shuffle is a beat that is in a triplet subdivision, meaning that there are 3 notes in between every single beat. You can count a triplet subdivision by saying 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and To play a shuffle, you need to play the first note of the subdivision and also the last one. So these are the numbers as the first one and the A as the last one. So that will sound like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And I'll play that right now. Now you can add the bass drum on the 1 and then add the snare on the 3 to make it a half-time shuffle, and they sound kind of cool. I'll play one of those now. Within every beat there are 3 notes, and that means in total there are 7 different combinations that you can play. Firstly, you can play the 1, the and the a, so that's the first 3. The 1 and the and, so 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and. The and the a, so 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and and also the 1 and the a, so that's like the shuffle. And finally you can play all 3. So an exercise that you can do to start off is play crotchets on the hi-hat and then play the 7 different combinations on the snare, and I'll demonstrate them now. So this is the first pattern, playing crotchets on the hi-hat, and the first part of the triplet on the snare drum. So this is playing crotchets on the hi-hat still, and playing the second note of the triplet, the and. Now this is playing the last note of the triplet on the snare, and still playing crotchets on the hi-hat. Now this is moving on to the 2-note groups. So now I will play the 1 and the and on the snare drum with crotchets on the hi-hat still. Now this is playing the last 2 notes of the triplet, the and. Now this is playing the 1 and the a, so the first and the last one on the snare. And now I'll play all 3 notes of the triplet on the snare. Now get comfortable playing that, and then you can move on to the shuffle on the hi-hat and just do the 7 different combinations on your snare. So I'll play all the 1-note combinations for 2 bars with a shuffle on the hi-hat, and that should sound like this. Then you can practice all the two-note combinations. I'll play the first one, which is the one and the and. The ander, which is the last two. And then the last one, which is the one and the a. So the first and the last one. And that's going to be exactly the same as what you're playing with your right hand on the hi-hat. And finally the last one, which is all three notes of the triplet on the snare with a shuffle on the hi-hat. When you're comfortable with playing that just on its own, start applying it to a beat. So put a bass drum on the one and an accented snare hit on the three, and just practice the one note combinations first. So that should sound like this. With the two-note combination and the three-note combination, they are more of a colouring piece, so you don't necessarily do that on every single beat, because it can sound a bit overwhelming. But give it a try, because it might be what the song is looking for. So the first one, with the one and the and, should sound like this. So the next one, the one on the and the a, the last two. And the last grouping, which is on the first note of the triplet, and the last, the one and the a. And finally, the last one. I doubt you'd ever really use this one, but it's still worth getting the independence. So this will be all three of the triplet on the snare, with the bass drum on the one and accented snare on the three. So when you've got all those comfortable, start to mess about with them. Start to just play a shuffle beat and just with the bass drum on the one to begin with, and mess around with the ghost notes, and you can play any combination of any of them that you want to. You don't have to be restricted to playing one of the groupings for the whole bar. You can play any group, so I'll just improvise a shuffle now. You can also apply this concept to the bass drum. Practice it exactly the same way as we did with the snare drum. Just play a shuffle on the hi-hat and play all 7 different combinations on the bass drum. Doing some of that stuff can sound really cool, and it can make your shuffle sound very interesting. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, just ask them down below in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.